Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Caffe Lena for this spectacularly special evening. It's great to have you all here. I think that people have been coming to Caffe Lena to experience folk music for years. Because
not tonight.
But look, they come for the authenticity, they come for the incredible musicianship, and they come for the way that our shared American history just flows through the words and the music. This lady's got all of that, plus a whole lot of red hot fun besides. Please welcome Christine Ohlman Rebel Montez.
So, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, I was walking around my neighborhood, I think it was 20 years ago now, in Connecticut, up where I lived in Connecticut. I sort of split my time between New York and Connecticut. My day gig is I sing with the band on Saturday Night Live. So I'm there, sometimes during the season I'm there, and then not at all in the summer. So in the summertime, I went out walking, and I came upon this tag sale, and the guy had 3 shoe boxes of records. And yes, right, I know. I'm a collector for a long time, and I write about music. He had 3 shoe boxes of records, and he asked me, was I interested in them? And I started looking through them, and there were a few things in there that I recognized, and I said, well, how much would they be? And he said that they were $10 each. So for $30, I walked away with 3 completely full shoe boxes full of records. And when I got home, I realized that this was kind of a perfect little collection of what they call deep Southern soul, which was the area that I was really interested in anyway, but I hadn't really looked through them when I was at the tag sale. So you're talking about labels like Goldwax, a Goldwax label out of Memphis, and the Duke label, and there were some stacks in there, but most of it was very obscure. And there was this record on the Elf label called Crybaby Cry by Van and Titus. And I had no idea who they were. I knew a little bit about Elf. I knew it was a Nashville soul label that hadn't been around for a really long time. It was a small label, but I didn't know anything about the music. So I put it on, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up. And I realized that without question, it was one of the best records I'd ever heard in my life, even though I didn't know anything about it. I felt ashamed that I didn't know anything about it. One of the gentlemen who sang that record is here with us tonight. His name is George Brantley. He's come up from Knoxville, Tennessee. George, you stand up. Thank you. This is Van. So I made mixtapes of this record. I turned everybody on to this record that I possibly, because this is before CDs. I gave it to Paul Schaefer. I gave it to Bonnie Raitt. I gave it to my friend G.E. Smith, who was at the time my musical director on Saturday Night Live, and Lenny Pickett, who was the musical director now. I gave it to everybody I knew that I could possibly spread it around to. Gave it to my friend Chandler Travis, who comes up and plays here. Chandler plays here with all of his different bands, I think. And then I was sharing stuff. I had come to know Dion, the great Dion, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member, because on the strip CD, we covered a B-side of his called Daddy Rollin' in Your Arms, and somebody played it for him, and one day the phone rang, and I answered the phone, and it was Dion. They told me, they said, where did you learn that song? And I said, well, I had it on a 45. He said, because you do it better than me. And I said, well, I don't know about that, but I do it, So we began corresponding, and we became friends, and when it came time to record the D Band, in 2009, I had a lot of friends that I called, and he was one of them, and I said, what about, and by the way, George, his wife, Dion's wife is Susan, Runaround Sue. Well, she isn't really Runaround, but it's Sue, Well, she might have been, but I mean, and he always, his joke always is that she came from Vermont. She was a Vermont girl. He said, I still don't know how I, from the Bronx, ended up with this beauty queen from, Vermont. But she said to him, I know that record. So she knew the record. He was like, what do you mean you know the record and I don't know the record? She said, I know it. I know Crybaby Cry. So she knew about it. She'd heard it. And that just, I think, made him all the more intrigued. And, of course, I sent it to him. And then he was like, of course, that's what we should do on the D Band. So we did. We did record it with the help of our great friend, Catherine Russell, who sang all the really high harmony parts for us. And so, George, we are so honored to have you here with us tonight. I can't possibly tell you. and we're gonna tape a little interview afterwards over in the Black Box Theater, and maybe we'll tell a few stories. And Cliff's gonna sit with us, and I think we just could not be happier. What's so funny? I can't see. Oh, Cliff, yes, Cliff is gonna sit with us. Against my better judgment, I'm letting him come over there.
That's what they're laughing at.
I know. I said, you're letting him out? It's not really such a good idea. But anyway, Crybaby Cry, Van and Titus, Brantley brothers, right? George and Bill, right? So, and you're going to have to tell us later where you came up with the name Van and the names Van and Titus. I love it. But I have never been so moved as the day that I put the needle to the grooves of that record. So here it is, baby. Crybaby Cry.
Okay, so here we are. Historic evening. Just had a fantastic show at Caffe Lena. Crowd went nuts, and you guys obviously did the thing that you're supposed to do.
We did the thing.
That thing.
So my question is, singing is a universal human habit. You know, everybody sings, but it's a slender portion of the public that take it so seriously and need to sing for an audience and go through all the trouble of doing it. And I wonder, why do you do that?
I do it because I've always wanted to connect ever since I was a little kid. I've always wanted to connect, and as I got better at it, I realized that I had more of a responsibility to connect on a higher level. I had to get better at connecting as well as just singing.
And what do you get from connecting with people? What is that?
Well, I get so much joy from it. I can't even describe it. There's so much joy that comes on a great night, like tonight was, from my great band, Cliff and Michael and Larry, and then the great songs. And tonight we had this very special song of George's that we were able to bring to the table. You know.
Wouldn't you say, as a singer, not me, but you guys, you're satisfying a passion?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but also, you know, like Christine has honored me with, you know, finding this, you know, obscure R&B song, and, you know, revitalized it, and actually revitalized, you know, my motivation in music. But with me, you know, it's I guess it's with her and with all these guys, you know, I mean, it's like genetic. It's like in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yeah.
So you have to you have to present it. You know, some people have are fortunate enough to have, you know, bands and stuff and everything, and can really be commercial success. And some people may not be that much of a commercial success, but they still get to present themselves as an art form.
So when you're up on stage, the experience of being in the audience and watching you is such a natural, it's an unconscious thing. You don't think twice about it. You're watching the people upstage. But from your point of view, it must be completely different because you're creating it moment to moment. You're thinking about what comes next. How is this going? What did I do? What does it feel like to be up on stage?
I don't spend a lot of time thinking about what comes next.
We actually aren't thinking about that.
No.
What's going through your mind? What does it feel like?
Connection.
Yeah.
The connection.
Just it's more visceral, you know.
Yeah.
And is that because you're so used to it? It couldn't have been like that the first couple gigs you ever did.
But I'm sure none of us remember.
I do.
Do you? Yeah. I mean, I remember. Yeah, but not. I remember being terrified at first, but then very quickly that changed.
Right, but the terror itself
Yeah.
is a visceral feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that we're talking about emotion, and it comes in different forms, you know. And when we first started, of course, you were thinking about, but you were thinking about the music. Did I play that right chord or something like that? But that goes away pretty quick because you find that you can get over that hump fairly quick, and then it becomes, again, when we all started, I think everybody will agree that we're running on faith.
Well, weren't you trying to imitate your models, your idols?
Well, that's running on faith, isn't it? You hope to do an honest justice to it.
Yeah.
You know. And then things, but again, it's raw emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, Americans. The river of American song is a big river. You know. I mean, George, where did you come up? Did you come up in Tennessee?
Yeah, I came up in Tennessee. According to the script, my father was a Baptist minister, so
Yeah,
you know, I kind of like like I said,
There's faith.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Of course, it's faith. You know, because and then you go present something to somebody, and it's always a chance that when you first start out, that you might be a failure. You know what I'm saying? You don't get up there, and you know. So, but once people start to accept you, and then you find somebody who I'm dealing with it from just a vocalist point, not so much right now, but like Christine she's very knowledgeable of blues music, and blues artists who then transcend and becomes commercial successes. She still know them as artists, and she still presents out on the radio programs. She presents them. She educates people. You know what I'm saying? So I hold her in the highest esteem, you know, for that. You know, and I'm really glad that I'm here in this historic cafe to be able to meet both of these SNL band members. You know. I'm like, man, you know, you ain't got a clue how high I am right now, you know.
Well, your record of Crybaby Cry has illuminated so many people's lives, and you know, as I said, I passed it around to every person I knew when I got it, and I gave it to a lot of people in New York. Got it, you know, and Paul Schaefer still talks about it. So, but you have a fan of Paul Schaefer as well, a David Letterman band leader.
And what is it? Blues music has some kind of elemental correspondence with the human genome, I think. It has to, because it's so innate with us. And why? What is it? Crybaby Cry, it's such a simple song.
No, it's not.
Well, it's not. It's not.
I mean, structurally, it's not. Yeah.
It's a couple words and it's a riff.
It's a beautiful aggregate of three different keys. It's in three different keys. Very rare that you have a song that fits together so well by going to places that you shouldn't go.
Yeah.
That you normally wouldn't go. But
it's surprising.
When he went there, I mean, I sat down and listened to it, and I'm saying, okay, and then it opens another door, and it opens another door, and it all seems to fit so perfectly. But you wouldn't expect that.
But that fitting together, what is the essence of that? How does that work?
Magic.
Yes.
Oh, it's total. Oh, that's the good song. A great song is magical because everybody's working with the same 12 notes.
Yeah, and that's true.
Everybody.
How do you put them together?
Yeah.
Tears on my pillow and pain in my heart. I lie awake at night, darling, praying, trying to think of a way to bring you back home to me. I just can't seem to knock on the right door or say the right thing to make you mine again. And I know there's a lot of you out there that's been in my shoes before, where you had a small misunderstanding that'll bring us to the big tear-filled heartbreak. And you know there's only one thing that brings a man down so bad, and that's to know when he's reached the bottom, there's only one thing left for him to do. That's to bow his head in solitude.